coming up on the planet, and your original mission is about to commence.
I think we missed our date.
And we get a rest. How long of a rest is this?
Okay, so the entire trip takes 5 days normally, but you were launched out of the drift so far away from it that by the time you do it, you guys have about 2 weeks. So you're going to, by your clock, arrive a week later than you were supposed to.
But we have an awesome pilot, so she flew us there faster. Math 33.
Well, that's piloting. Could we get an engineer to try to make the engines go a little bit more? So you got a 13. Yeah. So you guys get there in good time. Engines being hot the whole time. Do you want to use the blink drive?
No,
No.
I think that
Oh man, it could get you there like that, or way past it, or
the blink drive.
into
It's the Flibberty Gibbet.
No Flibberty Gibbets.
Okay.
No Flibberty Gibbets. I think that maybe we use that when maybe Vicky and I'll go investigate that after we complete our mission and see if we can, I don't know, do more research about that deep space life form.
Invictus is going to land.
Shoo. Do you have landing like music, gear sounds?
Landing
Well-
music.
Landing gear sound music. Ash doesn't know
Dun,
squat.
dun.
Well, I do have a powering down sound, yes.
Oh my gosh.
As the engine systems are powering down.
So Ash is just gonna stand up and stretch, and she's gonna say, all right, you guys, go explore, whatever. I'll be here.
So you arrive on the planet, and you're about ready to approach the delegation. Vicky gets on, and she says, I don't mean to interrupt what's going, the negotiations or job interview or whatever you want to call it, that's going to be happening, but there's information you might want to know about.
Give us the scoop, Vicky.
I was monitoring subspace transmissions, and I overheard the parting words from a deep space scientific and military research vessel getting ready to leave on its voyage. It was the Event Horizon.
What?
Did we go back in time?
Did we super pilot?
Gotta get back in time.
According to my calculations, right now you are on the planet negotiating to purchase me.
We went back in time.
Could go kill our past selves and take their loot, and then we'll have
We can get a
twice as many
second
weapons.
ship.
We can get 2 ships and duct tape them together and make a bigger ship.
Me and Nick are legitimately planning this
Dude,
now. By
we
the
share
way.
a brain cell, man.
One brain cell.
Oh, and then we can take 3 ships and have them form together into a giant megazord.
It'd be like a pyramid of ships.
I get to control the left leg. That's
we'll
the kicking
put the other
leg.
2 upside down so that we have 3 guns.
I do not wish to be duct taped to another ship. I'm going to power my engines and leave.
Vicky, will you turn Nick off for a minute? I can't handle this.
I disabled my off switch years ago.
Of course
mate.
you did.
So now,
Wait, I keep it right here, and it's like a broken switch with a wire coming out of it.
Let me just see that for a minute.
So now Vicky says, so now you're going to have to account for that time. They're expecting you about 5 days from now.
So the us that are here, they're gonna leave and get caught in the drift explosion. So we could really just leave and head towards our destination, right?
There's no guarantee that those us survive.
I'm so confused.
Vicky, what if our ship was originally heavily damaged by this explosion wave in the drift? If we enter it today, isn't that going to occur same as it did in the original timeline?
I believe, unless you do something to interfere with events, they will unfold exactly the way they have.
Guys, sit down, shut up. We do nothing. That's all.
Oh, that'll make a great YouTube video, lass.
Well, here's
Sitting
the
around
thing.
doing nothing.
We can sing Kumbaya!
If we
Perhaps
do
we could
anything,
roast some marshmallows.
if we do anything, we could mess up. We're not roasting.
I am poisonous.
Shanties.
She looks delicious, okay?
I am poisonous!
Aye, we could roast some Flibberty Gibbets.
We could roast. No.
We can't roast the Liberty Gibbet.
We're not
It's metal.
touching anything.
But what if not
Sitting
touching things is
here.
the cause of the problem?
You know, for someone who's not the captain, you sure have a lot of opinions. pilots.
You know what? I'm the pilot and I take us places, so I'm like
But-
second captain.
Again, what if
We've got
sitting
plenty
here
of
doing
pilots.
nothing is what causes stuff to happen?
We're gonna spend the 5 days reverse engineering this blink drive so that we show up on time for our arrival.
I'm saying you've already landed, got out of the ship, they saw you, you saw them, and then you got the message from Vicky. She was just, we
Explain
left.
why we're early.
Yeah, we just.
Well, then there's no point in arguing about whether or not we're gonna do nothing because we're already engaged in something.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
trust me, we're still gonna
on
argue.
A trip in our favorite rocket ship
So why are we early?
because the blink drive.
No, why are we early to the people on the planet, not why we're early
Oh.
to...
Because we're, yeah.
Because Ash is the best pilot ever. Yeah?
So your ship did the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs?
Yes.
Is it a Foss ship?
I'm just going to scratch my head. I'm no good at talking. I'm just going to be quiet.
Who's the closest thing to a diplomat that we have? You?
Between Nick and I, yeah, it's... So I would actually be really good to approach as the personal assistant.
I was just gonna say, why don't you go for it? You use your personal assistant skills.
Personally assist us
Yes.
in this explanation.
Hi, we're here to report...
So you're going to go up to the people, everyone's going with you, or is that how this is working?
No, we're huddling and moaning and singing Kumbaya.
I'm getting stuff loaded onto the ship.
You're
If
gonna
there-
do what?
Is there anything like around us to where I could get like supplies for the ship?
Well, here,
it's gonna
not
be
really.
coat that
It's
fire coat
just the
The
the base itself.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm gonna head where I think there's resources at that I could get.
You might be able to have them order something for you, but I'm putting everybody over there unless you're telling me otherwise.
No, send us over.
I am a curious mushroom. I shall follow Joy.
Nick kind of leans into Chanterelle and goes, so if people eat you, do they get bigger?
No, they get deader.
Or do they get smaller?
I am poisonous.
So Ash, has anybody actually tried to eat you?
Well, you are Ash.
I'm gonna look at you really confused.
Wait.
I
We've
would
already,
hope.
we've already got copies of ourselves here already. We can't have you also talking about yourself in the third person. That's too confusing.
No, the time frame is that we just finished bargaining with the ship.
Guys, I think I need to tell you something. T-Bone knows this, but sometimes from my accident, my brain just stops functioning.
We know that.
It's okay, we like you still.
I just really wish I knew why, what happened to me. It just, sometimes it really eats at me and I don't know.
Nick puts an arm around you and says, it's okay, lass. Look. And he opens up his head. See this? There's supposed to be 3 chips in here. See how many there are?
None?
Oh. And I'm just gonna kind of wipe my eye because she kind of started to tear up.
But sometimes I like to take little bits of rocks, I put them in there, and I make a little rattling sound. Rattle me bones, rattle me bones. But don't rattle me bones. Rattle me bones.
You don't have.
As soon as she says that it eats me up, I'm gonna start looking through her hair, trying to find any lice or anything.
Nick's trying to cheer her up.
Making sure nothing's eating you.
So anyway, Joy approaches the welcoming committee.
Yeah, don't mind us. We're playing our own game over here.
It was critical backstory information, okay?
Heck yeah, our characters bonded. +1 friendship,
Yeah.
and you sense the magic of it.
This is why we are early. I was gonna say late, but
Just tell them it was magic.
magic
Do you
of
believe in magic?
friendship.
No, just go up
Of
to them
an
and say,
android's heart."
somehow the Emperor returned.
You know, if you just say because of the accident, everybody will just go with it. Just tell them we're early because of the accident. It's no more explanation.
Greetings. We're glad you're here. You're here earlier than we were expecting. We don't have your rooms or anything ready yet. I am Callisto, the administrator here. I'm not in charge, but I do take care of a lot of the day-to-day goings on.
Well, nice to meet you. We are here early just because we have an excellent pilot who shaved some time off of our travels, and we were just so excited to get started that we just came as quickly as we could.
Well, you're quite the eager beaver. That's good. We like enthusiasm here at the Ichihara Corporation. All right, so I have the usual binding non-disclosure waivers that I'm going to have you signed. And it's just giving us permission that if you leak any of the information or go to work for any of our competitors within a 5-year period of time and use any skills or information that you've learned here, we have the legal right to have you and your families executed. So it's the usual standard contractual agreements.
Nick takes out a red stamp and stamps an X on it.
Your defective unit here, we're going to need his ID card.
Do you have an ID card?
Did we arrive before they actually set up our cover, or what?
No, your cover was set up, but these people thought they had 5 days to like get your rooms ready and have your placards printed for your cubicles and things like that. Get your usual kit of hand sanitizer and tissues, things like that.
Is there a pillow mint?
There's one on the ship because nobody will eat the last one.
I'm gonna run back to the ship and get it.
We have our fake IDs and stuff, so Nick hands over his fake ID.
Said it's not our fault that they didn't plan properly for us to arrive early.
Ooh, sassy.
Yes, I would expect such from a drow. So if you guys will follow me this way, and she gives you kind of a tour of the place. There's various different locks that you have to go through, and they scan you for any illness, stolen technology from them, and they ask you to leave your weapons in lockers.
Agreeable. We are totally okay with it.
We do have to call the
Tybar's not
locker
okay with
a chest.
All right.
Yes, we have some people that could fix that if you want.
Liberty gibbets!
We left the Flibberty gibbet on the ship.
No, I was just imagining like a spark comes out of Nick's head and he just goes, Liberty gibbets! Like he's got robot Tourette's.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
I should start doing that.
Oh
Just
my
randomly
gosh.
shouting things out.
Do it.
Maybe we need to
Because we've already established you love when I talk over you.
It's true. We
Now
do
shout.
love it when you talk over.
I'll shout over you.
They have you go through this thing and they allow you through one at a time, and you end up going into this system which is it's an airlock, and the door will close behind. Wherever you're going, the air and everything is completely purified and sanitized, and it doesn't mix with the outside air.
Nick takes a deep breath and goes, smells like the open sea.
You can't smell Nick.
Liberty gibbets!
So as Ash is going through all of these airlocks and smells this like clean, pure, almost too clean air, she just kind of feels uncomfortable. It reminds her of her very first memories back in at Absalom Station when she basically woke up.
Nick notices her feeling a little forlorn and folds a little origami crane and gives it to you.
I thought you 3D
And
printed it.
when you take, okay, 3D print it, and it has a little pirate hat.
Love it. Maybe I'll learn how to paint these little things that you print from your printer.
No, only losers paint miniatures, Les.
Maybe I'm okay with being a loser and she's gonna stick it in her bag.
And so now you get introduced to the executive who's in charge of this particular project. His name is Saris. Saris goes, all right, we're really glad for your help with this project, and as you know, it's a heavy non-disclosure agreement that you guys have signed. So while you're here, you can't have any outside communications. They've all been nullified. We don't want any people transmitting any data, taking pictures, taking notes, anything like that. You are going to be sanitized going in, going out to make sure you don't carry any sort of germs or anything in or out. And remember, this is cutting edge stuff here and we take it very seriously. So if you guys do your jobs, we'll pay you well. We have excellent benefits, 401k, retirement plans. We have the absolute best of the best coverage. We take care of our people, but we also take care of the people who cross us as well.
You don't need to be worrying about that, lad. We're here 100% square.
Well, with that said, I'll hand you over to the good doctor. And you hear some sounds of, it sounds like rich people or various executives getting some sort of a tour. So the good doctor is giving a talk to the people who are in attendance in the room. His name is Dr. Lull. You can see that on his name tag. And the lady who originally greeted you, she's in here as well, Callisto, and she whispers that to you as well. That's Dr. Lull, the person who invented the system. Brilliant man, a little bit off, but quite brilliant. So he's demonstrating the system here. The patients are completely comatose. They don't think or feel anything, but they are still alive and all their higher brain functions are capable, but they are only turned on when we need to utilize them, and only those specific areas. Now, so there's some logic and reasoning skills, but it's very limited. It's mostly base of the brain and the medulla oblongata that's responsible for aggression and things like that that we really care for. But with our procedures, we can turn on those selective areas and then get desired outcomes. So we can have the various different combat skills and things that we need, the aggression, the anger, but without things like morals and memories and things like that. We've completely have been able to eliminate that in this process. That's amazing. So what's the range on this? Well, that's why we haven't gone into full-scale production. Right now, the range is a few hundred miles. So that's still excellent and could be used in various different situations. But once we get everything up and running, we expect this to be practically limitless in distance. Come on now, you can't tell me that you could do this, say, a solar system away. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Now, the greater the distance, kind of like with communication through the drift, there's going to be kind of we call it the ping. It's a delay from the time that a command is issued to the time the command is executed. So the efficiency of the unit can go down depending upon the distance, a fraction of a second. Various software updates and booster beacons that we'll add inside the drift, we can cut down the latency. So what sort of latency are you talking about? Well, right now, at its furthest distance, that's one side of the commonly traveled space, if you would, so near space, it would be about 1.5 seconds. Oh, that's all? That's nothing. Well, it's enough time for a subject to get away, so we can't say it's 100% effective. But within a few hundred miles, we can guarantee 100% effectiveness. Well, that's absolutely amazing. So what's the limitation? Like, well, what can stop this? Well, nothing. What do you mean? There's, say, a reinforced bulkhead. Nope, right through it. A wall, right through it. 2 miles underground, it doesn't matter. Well, how can these things get hurt? What sort of weapons can damage them? What's its Achilles heel? There isn't any. Every system has a flaw. There is no flaw. There is no way to hurt these assassins that we've developed. It's a perfect system. The only way to harm them if you were in the very room with them here. But if you're an entire solar system away and you have no way of pinpointing where this unit is, you have no way of stopping them, no way of damaging them. We have invented the unstoppable, perfect assassin that can appear anywhere, go through any wall, kill, take no damage, and be gone and leave not a fingerprint, not a piece of DNA, no evidence, absolutely nothing. We've made the perfect weapon. Oh, Doctor, I didn't want to interrupt you. These are scientists that you asked for. They've arrived a bit early. Well, I appreciate someone who's eager to start work, especially this is an exciting project. Hi, I'm Dr. Lull, and he starts going around and shaking everyone's hands. I'm going to hand out your work assignments, so he starts handing out the various different things. And so we have a lot of work to do. We have to get I'm not sure how much of my presentation you've heard, but we have an efficiency problem. We have a ping situation that we have to solve. Right now, we're launching various different, much smaller satellites than people would really be able to detect. These things are the size of a soda can, but they're able to transmit the data that we need, and we're spreading them out throughout the drift and also through space itself, so we can have this interconnected, interplexing beacon that can transmit our signal. So we're just going to try to run various different simulations and see what could interfere with this signal. As I was telling these gentlemen, there's no way to stop the assassin that we've designed here, but there may be some way to potentially interfere with or jam the signal. But that's why we have so many satellites. They jam one, we can just route past another one. So there's no way they could jam them all, and there's no way you're going to be able to track something that small. We're making these really small satellites with the absolute highest technology of stealth to avoid any detection, and we've tried it. We can get within 5 meters of one in space and still not be able to pick it up. It's not until we're actually closer than 5 meters before it'll register on the best scanners that we have. And now that's just to get one. If we put thousands and thousands of them up there, yeah, good luck trying to find them. And then we'll just put up more. Even if they destroy one, we'll just launch more. We're able to make these cheap and quick. That's going to be the success of this. We are revolutionizing war. This is going to be tremendous. Finally, rather than these little squabbles, whoever we sell this to will be able to completely dominate every battle, and they will be the dominant force in the universe. And then all wars, all fighting should stop. So it sounds like I'm making the perfect killing machine, but I'm making the perfect vehicle for peace.
Truly inspirational, Doctor.
So, Doctor, I think the best folks to head up the front on these tasks. Nick is our communications expert, so I would have him looking at the satellite side of the issue and your issues with latency. Also, Joy is our computer expert. She is our programmer, so if you have her take a look at your coding, I'm sure she can help out in that respect.
Thank you. If you guys, well, you've just landed, so I guess I won't have you get to work today. That's a little bit too much. I'm a bit of a workaholic, obsessive compulsive myself.
Not at all. We're ready to go now.
You're ready to go now? All right then. That sounds good. Callisto goes, are you sure you've traveled a long distance? We could give you a day just to relax, get some food. You guys seem like you're a little road weary. I can sort of see it in your eyes.
Do you want this job done or not?
All right, there's no reason to be rude. She says, all right, I'll show you to your work centers. You're sat down and you're given a bunch of code. You're looking at communication stream, and this is all cutting edge. I mean, really high-tech stuff.
In the back of Nick's mind, he's going, oh my gosh, if I integrated this, I could stream at 8,000 bits per second.
Anywhere in the world or the drift or
400K resolution to every single one of my viewers.
Yeah, so it's a real temptation for you to steal a communication system, because that means you could stream your service anywhere. Going in or out of the drift, you'd never lose signal.
A big, like, anime sweat drop appears on the back of Nick's head. And he kind of licks his lips.
You have a tongue?
So you guys are working on all the various systems. Nobody's shown you the machine itself. You've seen these various different subjects, which seems to be plugged into it. You're not given all the details. You're given information about the latency and some of the communication, and you have access to some of that. You don't know exactly how the stealth tech works, just that it has it. But you're just working on the behind-the-scenes communication part of it, a few other various different things like that.
And are these like organic life forms that we're talking about that they're modifying, or is this like a droid thing?
No, those lying on the table are actual living beings, and they have them plugged into machines, and they've shut off anything that would make them a sentient living being. And the only parts that they turn on are the parts that are responsible for, like, say, strategizing in combat, and the part that is responsible for hatred and aggression.
Okay, so Nick's really good at communication stuff. I kind of have an idea here. So Nick's going to go through and find some data points, and he's going to bring it to the guy's attention and say, that I think I may have found a way to tighten the beacon, to tighten our beacons up, but I need to compare the latency to the central machine. Would it be all right if I was granted access? I want to see if there's a way to reduce the time dilation, but I need to lock in how much time dilation there currently is. So with your permission, I'd like to go into the central machine and compare.
They'll let you into the server, which is connected to the machine, but we won't let you into the room itself. Nobody's allowed in there except for Dr. Lull.
Of course.
So that's going to be the
I always
closest we're going to
follow
get
the
to it.
rules. Following the rules is the first rule of
Wink.
the sea.
Wink, nudge, nudge.
So Ash is just feeling really icky about this, and she really wants to talk to Zendarian and the rest of her team. So she's just gonna say, guys, I know that we just got here, and I'm such a...
Should we say this around all the people that are around us?
No, I've told you what I was thinking, so you know this is what I'm saying out loud. I'm gonna say, guys, I forgot a few things out on the ship. I know that we just got here, and I know we're super excited to get working on this. I'm super excited to get working on this, but can we go back to the ship and can you guys help me get my things really fast and bring them back to our quarters, just because
I'm going to go to the
I
server.
need them?
Yeah. So you can go to the server and do that. We'll say, like, at the end of the day, they don't have rooms ready for you, and so they said, if you guys don't mind, we're sorry if this is a horrible inconvenience, but could you guys just spend the night on your ship?
That's perfect. I left some stuff there anyway.
We're monitoring communications, so while you're working on this project, you can't even send any pictures home, no text or anything in case there's any sort of hidden or encrypted. We monitor that and the whole planet's jammed anyways.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We understand.
So you do your labors and you never see the machine, but you do get in the server room, yes.
Here's my plan. Here's what
Yes.
Nick's gonna do. Because if you make a copy of the data from the server, there's gonna be a record of that. But if you just view the data, you're not making a copy. All Nick has to do is view the data and then makes a copy. So Nick's gonna dump a third of the feet pics in his long-term memory to make enough room.
Gosh.
I know it's a big sacrifice for Nick,
It's a big
but he cares about the
Just a third.
just a third.
Just
I'm sure you hovered over to the "Are you sure" button for a while.
Yeah,
only
yeah,
kept
Nick-
the
Nick
right
was like-
foot.
Nick was like, oh, I'm never gonna find those Asian feet pics again. And he's going to do the communication stuff that he's supposed to do, but he's also going to view the data for like the schematics and stuff. He's not making a copy, but he's recording in his brain everything he sees. See where I'm going with that?
I do. There's no schematics in the system for the machine itself, but there is for the rest of the network.
Okay,
So
well,
you can understand.
I'll take that.
But the communication network is still state of the art. It's still they've made a cutting edge thing that they could make money on in and of itself. That was only to facilitate the machine.
Crap, I was hoping I could get some schematics of the machine itself.
No. So you guys get back aboard Invictus. So now you can have that conversation.
So first I'm gonna say to Vicky, hey Vicky, is our like communications stuff, I don't know, like, is there a stealth mode or something in you so that like the people on the Itchy Taco planet can't hear what we're saying right now?
Did you just call this planet Itchy Taco?
I totally did, because I knew it was Itchy something and I couldn't remember the rest.
Ichihara.
I now rename this planet Itchy Taco.
It's the Itchy Taco Enterprises.
No, miss. There's a jamming signal that we can't get anything out, and they have monitoring satellites, monitoring all communications in or out. There's no way to get out any signal. In fact, I've put up a low-intensity force field around the ship to try to prevent them from just even being able to hear our conversations inside.
That's what I'm worried about. I don't really want...
Want our conversations to be private.
I would like to be able to have private conversations with my crew members and my best friend.
Aw, thank you.
She meant me, Nick.
Without...
Are you sure? I gave her a crane.
We should be safe at this distance and with the shielding up. I haven't turned it up to maximum to draw attention, but I have put enough that if they have any sort of detection systems on us, that when you talk, it vibrates the hull, and there are certain lasers and things that they can bounce off our hull and detect those sort of vibrations. So I should be scattering those.
Okay. Well, just to be safe, maybe we should just keep our voice volumes
Hey,
low.
Vicky, they didn't put anything on the ship, right? Nobody else got onto the ship?
No, they did run several scans, but nobody came aboard.
So I'm gonna look to Zendarian and say, okay, so we're here on this planet at this place, but we don't really know what our mission
You know, what we
is.
could also do is if we just write it to each other, then then there's nothing to intercept.
Well, Zendarian, so we'll say, yeah, you guys are writing. Zendarian actually knows what the mission is if
Yeah, so-
Zendarian wants to talk about it.
So I really do want to know what exactly we're supposed to do.
Brian, you're up.
We're supposed to take that device and all of its technology and all of the records of that device.
I went through the server and there's no access to the machine itself from the server. However, I did find out that their communication system is going to make my streams amazing. I'm going to get so many views.
I'm gonna scratch my head. I just want to know what an Abdallah Delgado is.
It's not important to you.
So Brian, what's the plan for us getting this from the Itchy Taco?
Well, no, here's the thing. I want to know what is your family going to do with this information and this tech once they have it? Is that anything you can share with us?
We're going to improve upon it and sell it.
To whom?
Whoever pays the most.
I do not wish to intrude, but I've been listening to your conversation. I've downloaded all the information in Nick's head.
Hey,
Your firewall was password 12345.
how did you guess that?
It wasn't
oh
that
my
hard.
gosh, are you psychic?
No, it was the third thing I
witch.
tried.
Burn the witch.
I've done some modeling. What I predict will happen is at first one government, one planet, will use it to dominate the other planet and completely overwhelm any military forces. And then after a period of time, a certain amount of wealth will be made, and then people will start going a little bit further. And then it'll go down to, well, maybe it should only be us, meaning one type of species should be the only life form on the planet. And then eventually it'll get in the hands of those people and they will eliminate all other life. Eventually there'll be infighting in amongst those people, and they will use the weapon to eliminate their rivals, other families, and try to bring it down to just them. In the end, there is no other conclusion than this weapon system, if it is released into the world, will eventually cause the destruction of all civilization and all life as we know it, at least higher forms of life.
I'm so glad we're on the same
And,
page,
and
Vicky.
Nick's gonna try and use persuasion on Zendarian and say, and if everyone dies, that's very bad for business. Hey, savvy?
And views.
And views. Oh my gosh, my views. I've been offline for like 2 weeks. My
Your persuasion is
subscribers are
useless
gonna
as it's not me
unsubscribe.
making that decision. We're just here to collect the item, collect the technology. What happens to it is up to my father.
How do you feel about all this, though, Zendarian, knowing what we know now and what we're collecting? Are you really okay with spreading that to the whole, whoever pays the most?
We'll worry about that later. I think the more important part, and you should probably be on board with, is at least taking it out of the hands of these people.
And how do you propose you do that? It's a secure facility. What's our plan for getting in there and out of there to begin with?
Well,
We can't even have the moral discussion of what to do with it unless we can actually get a hold of it. Frankly, I don't see any way to do it.
well, your job is to figure out how to transport it through the communication system. Joy's going to work on disassembling the code and figuring out how it works, and I will work with the doctor and see how it's integrated, and we'll continue from there once we have a better idea of their how the lab is set up and the method of production and so on.
And you realize that whoever you sell this to is going to use it on your family. It's only a matter of time.
It's not very likely that my family's going to sell it without being able to use it themselves.
It would be foolish to sell such a thing that they could not stop, that people could come and eliminate the Drow families. Therefore, Drow family that takes possession of it would become the superpower. And then once that was done, then why would they stop there? Why would they allow anyone but the Drow? And then after that, why would they allow other families?
Kind of give T-Bone a look that means I need to talk to just you, and she's just gonna say this is too much and walk away to her bedroom / cockpit / bridge / shuttlecock. What are the other names that came up for it?
The boudoir.
Oh my god. And just sit down, and she's just so tempted to just lie us away right now because this all feels icky and wrong in her core.
To give you some information, the source data from where I came up with some of my predictions, psychologist Stanley Milgram states that 8% of the population do not possess the psychological or moral resources to disobey orders. So no matter how illegitimate or immoral an order is, they will obey it. Therefore, only 20% of the people actually have critical thinking capacity and are able to morally rationalize and resist such things. The question is, are you part of that 20% or are you part of the 80? And that's where we conclude our session for today. You have a moral dilemma. You have a mission, and you also have a very vindictive Drow family. If you don't complete that mission, that will be hunting you.
And if I could make a recommendation, we can worry about the moral part of it later and worry about the activity of it now, because whether you agree morally or not, it doesn't belong in the hands of these people.
That we can all agree on.
Exactly.
But I still don't see how we're going to get it out of there, because Nick has no way of transferring the central data, because it's not even on the server, and we have no way of getting into the room to actually take whatever the core device is. So we have to
Not yet.
We have to go through the door that we can't get through and siphon the data that isn't there. That doesn't seem like a workable plan to me.
We'll have to make up one.
Well,
Magic!
we need
We'll use magic!
the kitchen staff and the room service table, and so I'm gonna hide underneath in it.
Do we have a contortionist in the
And-
group to hide in a suitcase?
We'll do an Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we all come out of the SWAT uniforms.
I really feel like we could stick Nick in a suitcase if we wanted to.
I can actually fold up into 0.5 meters by 0.5 meters.
I knew you could. This is technically session 3, so did we level up?
Yes.
Yes! I love level up.
Calm
Sorry.
down.
I'm excited.
My meters all went red.
I know, right?
I demand that this whole conversation of me being excited of leveling up be put in the actual cut, because it's like my favorite thing about playing is leveling up. I just
You know,
feel super
every
awesome.
time I got loud, you told me to be quiet.
You know what? Every time you got loud, I was trying to say something too.